Welcome to another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy podcast. I am Joe.
And I am Caleb.
Today, later, what are you laughing at, dude?
Caleb. I'm laughing at Caleb Craig. We got a new setup for
just in general.
Well, obviously, but we have a new setup for our Twitch viewers where we have we got a little numpad that we use to switch screens. So whoever's talking at a certain time, we can manually change a camera to just them. So right now on Twitch, the camera's on me. And when you start talking, Caleb will switch it to you, and I was just laughing.
Assuming he's paying attention.
Yeah, assuming. And that's a lot to assume, but still. We are testing it out, so that's been kind of fun.
But brand new live video test today.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Caleb Craig.
Not on the show today.
Our new intern.
Not on the show.
Caleb has actually moved up to director of video broadcast.
Yeah, official
Look at
title.
that.
Official title.
That's pretty great, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be hyping up a little bit the Zodiac Age, which Twice, I'm sure, is the most excited about on the show.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about what the web has told us we can expect differently in Zodiac Age versus our old version of FF12. But before we get to any of that, let's talk about what we've been doing in Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood.
Okay. Well, we're
not Stormblood. Heaven's Word, Dragon Song War content stuff.
Yeah. So basically, Joe and I at this point have decided that we're gonna try to do every dungeon in the game, every dungeon, every instance, what have you. There are a lot.
Yeah.
So, and we had maintenance this Wednesday, so we didn't really, or no, Thursday, so we didn't get very much playtime in. But so far, we've advanced to, I think we're in 3.5 of the story. Or is that right for the Dragon Song Horde?
3.5. No, we're not quite to 3.5. I'm in 3.4, and you're a little behind me. So
is it 0.4?
Yeah.
Okay, I think.
So there's in the patches. There's 6 different patches, but they call it patch 1 through 5, and 5 is split up into 2 parts, like a Harry Potter series or something. Anyway, so right now I'm in the dungeon that's in part 4, and I'm waiting for you. But we have been doing some extra credit type stuff, and we are going through and doing every single extra dungeon and trial that we can before we review Dragon Song War and start Stormblood. So I went online the other day and I printed off. First thing I did was go on the Final Fantasy XIV wiki and I copied the dungeons and all of the quests that lead up to those dungeons and where you can find those quests. I copied all that and then I put it in a document, printed that document off, and have been checking off very slowly this 5-page document worth of dungeons, trials, and raids that are available within that content. So there's a lot of shit out there, guys. We're gonna do it all.
Yeah, we feel obligated to do so. I mean, it is an MMO, and one of the big complaints we've had about Final Fantasy XIV up to this point has been just its single-player nature. Honestly, like there's so much of the game that you don't need other people for, and we've kind of gotten some flack for like, well, all the extra stuff is the game. Like, the stuff you don't have to do, that's not the story, is the true game. So if that's the case, then we'll do the dungeons and we'll see how the game truly is.
Or how it changes in our mind based upon that stuff.
Yeah.
There are a lot of dungeons, dude. Like, a lot.
It's crazy.
And my favorite thing so far has been, like, hard mode of certain dungeons we've already hit before.
Yeah.
Where, like, the music is pumped up, and then it's just a little bit more complex of a fight going through there, and it's been a lot of fun. I liked the Manor.
Yeah, Honk Manor.
That was from ARR, but
yeah.
I like going through that area again. That was cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It might have been easier this time around on hard mode than it was
the
first time we played it, the original.
Yeah, we ran into some problems later on just because of mechanics, but it has been a lot of fun, and it's, and like I said, like 14 is all about It's all about the dungeons. It's all about the dungeon crawl, about the grouping up with your free company and then plowing through the content. So I've had more fun doing that than I have the story, to be honest. Like, not that the story is way good so far in Dragon Song War, I think. I think
Yeah,
it's been
I
really
agree.
solid,
It's been pretty good.
but even then, like, sitting around watching cutscenes isn't what makes me want to play 14. It's, oh, we got to a dungeon. Now I'm ready. I'm psyched up. I'm
I'm
ready for
thinking
the next
maybe we
game.
should just have a pattern of doing dungeon story, dungeon story, dungeon story, and by then you should be leveled up on the right spot too.
Yeah,
You're
yeah, we
not
should
having
be.
to do dailies necessarily. Just do the new dungeon because we have 5 pages worth of dungeons and trials and tribulations as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a solid idea. I mean, that would be somewhat worthwhile, or maybe just like one day a week of story, or we just do story, and then the rest we do the dungeons until we catch up, because we have a lot of dungeon content to go through. Like what they were saying for the Bahamut stuff, like that alone is going to take us like 6 hours.
Jeez.
So that's one very long night of play, if not two, 2 nights.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll feel it out and see how far we can get in the story. But I kind of want to do all of the dungeons pre Stormblood before we review Heavensward, because then we can truly have, or not Heavensward, Dragon Song War, so we can have a true feel of the game up to that point, other than the raids, obviously the hardcore raiding, because all that's outdated now anyway. All the content.
You don't think? Well, we're gonna do it anyway.
Well, we're gonna do the quests for it.
There's
yeah,
not too many
we're not
raids in that game.
We're not gonna concentrate on it like a lot of people did back in the day, because the item level is now like worlds better than what it would be
That's true.
then. So a waste of time. But
That's true. Yeah, I have been enjoying that though. Been enjoying getting those dungeons opened up, and so that's good. It's always good to actually have fun in the game you're
yeah,
playing.
yeah, especially for how much time we're giving Final Fantasy 14. I mean, we even if we weren't going to play Stormblood after we get done with this, which is a 100 plus quest expansion at this point, we would still have a ton of content to burn through. So it is nice to be just cruising through those dungeons. It's been an absolute blast. And guys, if you want to join the free company, if you haven't already, just send us a tweet and we'll get you added to that. So
Nude Clan. That's what it's called.
yeah, it's Nude Clan. So
on Brynhilder.
mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's good time.
So if you guys want to find the show, or me or Schweiss, you can go to ultimatefinalfantasy.com. That's where you can join our forums there and check out our other shows if you want. You can tweet me at JosephVoa.
Me at UFF Podcast.
Our Facebook.com, our Facebook page is facebook.com/ultimatefinalfantasy. And then twitch.tv/ultimatefinalfantasy is where you can see us play the games. Or you can see us do the episodes live. As we, of course, talked about. We are doing that right now. A little update for Patreon donors. If you want to support the show, you can go to Patreon and Amazon, link on the website, all that stuff. For Patreon donors, Dave has in fact recorded all but the vocal parts for Suteki Dane.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
So it won't be long now.
Sweet.
And I think it sounds pretty good so far. So I'm excited to get to share that with you guys here soon. Schweiss, let's talk about some old Final Fantasy news. Maybe not old Final Fantasy.
Well, definitely not old.
Not yet. Will be in a week from now.
Yeah. Actually, that's not true. Some of this shit is old, but it's because we haven't done news for a little while.
Okay, so there has been an update for Final Fantasy 15. One of the things we talked about before was, of course, the off-road regalia. But here's the patch notes for the new update from Final Fantasy 15. Implementation of Regalia Type D off-road customization option, which is available at the Hammerhead. So, once again, off-road. I gotta try that sometime. Conclusion of survey regarding future updates.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Okay, all right.
Good job with the survey.
Addition of compatibility with episode Prompto.
Oh, that's important. We got to be compatible with the DLC.
Addition of pieces from episode Prompto to music player track list. So is there new music in the episode prompter?
Yeah, it sure sounds like it.
And then some various bug fixes.
Oh, man.
But have they yet to fix the selection?
I don't think they actually view that as a fucking problem, which is a problem.
They need to fix that. So Shinru, of course, who gives us our news, he did give us some gameplay footage of Final Fantasy 15 Fish trailer, or not the trailer, but the actual footage of someone playing the fish thing with the little sticks.
Yeah,
it basically looks like the fishing in Legend of Zelda on the Wii. But we'll take a look here for the Twitch audience.
Should full screen it. Oh man, it looks like she's beating off.
Or, if you want to do this more effectively, just go get a fishing license and a fishing pole. Actually fish.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. Okay, what other games have you fished in twice?
11, 14, Ocarina of Time, Pokemon. Pokemon doesn't really count, though.
Dude.
But
I only did it for 15 to get a trophy, to get that platinum. Did you get, like, the super fishes?
Some of them, yeah. Near the end, I started just fishing for fun and, like, trying to fill out the fish bestiary, I guess. But I stopped because
It was too much fishing.
Well, I mean, it's honestly, we went
You're
about
taking the world's most boring sport, and then you're like, let's make this a video game. And video games are supposed to be fun, twice.
I think fishing can be fun. I mean, you have to have beer. So I mean,
okay, so
that
it's not really the
something...
fishing; it's drinking beer next to a lake.
Yeah,
with friends.
In a boat, in a metal boat, out in the middle of the lake, drunk.
Yes.
Trying to catch other animals. It's great.
No, not great.
I've had some good times fishing.
Good times. Let me tell me about the exciting fishing.
Well, it's exciting when you fish and then that becomes your dinner later. That's exciting.
Sure, there's a sense of satisfaction there. I'll give you that.
And pissing contests about who can catch the most fish.
And also piss into the lake, or what?
And piss into the lake, yeah. Like, why not? They don't care. They do it all the time.
Oh boy. Okay, so Final Fantasy Brave Exvius is getting Final Fantasy X characters and an FF12 dungeon. So have fun with that.
Yeah.
I'm hearing from some listeners, and Jake are also suddenly playing Final Fantasy Brave Exvius.
Yeah, strangely. I'm not sure what's up with that, but
yeah, I guess it's the 1 year anniversary of that old mobile game.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 15 episode Ignis Schweiss arriving in December.
Oh my god.
We have a trailer, so let's watch this, baby.
Don't call me baby.
Call me maybe.
Alright, we got some running.
Got some dead bodies.
Some dong, metal dong. Look at that!
That's a sword hit.
Oh, got him held down.
This is pretty hot.
Yeah. Alright, so Arden's holding him hostage.
And he's
whispering something.
Voice acting.
Got some shining music there. Alright, cool. Hopefully they don't make that the part where he goes blind, because that doesn't seem accurate at all in the story. But no, maybe it was at one point before they, changed. You really think that's going to be where he goes blind, Craig? That's bullshit. He went blind during the invasion, and I don't even... Oh, you know what? Maybe it could have been at that time. No, it was daytime, though, wasn't it? Oh, fuck. Maybe... I'm trying to think of, what happened before you found out he was blind.
He got blind...
It was right before you fought Leviathan.
After the Leviathan fight. It was after.
Was it after?
You find out that he's been blinded on the train afterwards.
Oh, that's right, when you're recovering from
there's a lapse of time.
Okay, so I guess it could be at night.
And then they're
All right.
blaming you for making Ignis blind.
That's true. There was a little bit of a jump, wasn't there?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Are you ready for another little bit of a jump?
Yeah.
The Nissan X Final Fantasy 13 Snow commercial. I'm not entirely sure what this is, so I'm just gonna go for it.
All right, some dancers.
Okay, dancing high schoolers. The Nissan. What the fuck?
Game Snow.
Hey, guess what, Square? The 13 trilogy's dead. Okay.
Well, apparently China just barely got it. So.
Is that what that's about?
That was not a Japanese trailer.
Okay.
I believe that was Chinese. But anyway, there's a Nissan commercial with snow in it. So, tell you what to give. Whatever the hell that is about. Okay, so apparently, Schweiss, this is sort of rumory news. Final Fantasy 15, or excuse me, Square Enix has been tenacious, is what the Nintendo Life headline is. Square Enix has been tenacious in ongoing conversations about Final Fantasy 14 on the Switch.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Good luck, and we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, the Switch. All right. I don't. It's not that I'm like dissing the system, but I don't really know what its power looks like. And 14, to me, on the PS4, it seems like it's starting to lag. I don't know why the loading times are so fucking awful in the new areas. But have you noticed that? Like when you teleport, it just gives you like the screen for like way longer than it used to.
My assumption is there's just more players in the game.
Maybe it is just
loading. I mean,
purely
I get a queue at the beginning of every game now for the last like 2 weeks.
I think it might be the latency then, just people moving around within the world. But still, it's like I don't know. If it can handle it, then I guess that would be fun. I haven't really played around with the controller, and I feel pretty limited when I'm playing on PS4 as far as my hotbar. It's like, have you ever watched Limit Break do a stream of 14?
No.
There's like a million fucking things going on the thing. Like, it's got their hotbars on top of hotbars on top of hotbars. It's fucking sexy. But we can't have that on the PS4 because we only have like a few controllers or a few
different buttons.
Yeah, a few different buttons, right? But the fucking keyboard has all the letters and then all the symbols you want. So
sure.
It seems cool. But I wonder how it would be implemented. I don't know how they would get around that. Maybe have like a system where you hold Z and then it opens up like part 1 of your controls and then like B opens up something else. I don't know.
Well, they did simplify the game with Stormblood.
Yeah.
You get a few less things you have to do.
Yeah, that's true. It might work out well. And I mean, that would be cool.
Which has made the PS4 version of the game a lot better.
Yes, yeah, it has. There's less crowding on my hotbar. I don't feel like I have to have all these other moves. It's pretty nice.
Yeah. So this is Yoshi P's Queet.
Is Queet?
It's Queet. What the hell is a Queet?
I don't know.
You sounds dirty.
It's a silent something else.
Silent tweet. Silent.
Silent
Craig, do you just want your mic on so that people can hear you? Because every time you talk, we're like, oh, Craig is in the next to us. So
let's do it.
Okay, I'm just gonna turn. Craig, are you mic number 3 right now?
I think so.
Okay, let's see. No,
No,
you're mic number 4.
Caleb Craig on the show today.
Caleb Craig is on the show today, ladies and gentlemen. As a sort of, watchful eye.
Yeah. He is blind in one eye, and I think that's the eye he's watching with. But still good to have him.
All right, so Yoshi says, I've said this on several occasions, but it hasn't changed. We would love for as many players to be on FF14 as possible. Duh. Conversations have...
We want all the money.
Conversations have been held with Mr. Phil Spector of Microsoft and the upper management teams of Nintendo, but I have proposed a condition every time I speak with any platform manufacturers. It's that the game has to have the compatibility of cross-platform play.
Yeah.
Of course, with an MMORPG, Once it launches and starts going into live services and operations, there will be a community. No matter how small it dwindles down to, we have to be responsible for taking care of those communities. It would become an obstacle if the first party or manufacturer changed how patches are being implemented or online registrations. Some of our external parties regulations don't have MMORPGs in mind in terms of how they're regulating their online activities. Those can become a hurdle when we consider operating FF14 for an extended period of time. And so when I talk to those first party companies, I ask them, do you have the compatibility to prepare for that? A capability, excuse me, to prepare for that? Do you have the resolve that you're going to make sure to take responsibility and take care of those? Do you have that willingness?
Do you?
Do you? Uh, if we are able to come to some sort of agreement, a handshake, so to speak, or if it does end up being that, unfortunately, we can't do a handshake with FF14. Either way, we'll make sure to communicate with our players, but we have been tenacious. We've been trying to keep at it and we are persistent and will be persistent about our conversations.
All right, so hopefully Xbox might actually get it someday, and also the Switch. That would be cool.
Yeah. Schweiss, there was a documentary, a YouTube documentary created by a company called NoClip. That creates these video game documentaries that are crowdfunded, and then they make those things. But they crowdfunded a documentary on the rebirth of Final Fantasy XIV, which of course we have talked about a shitload on this show.
Yeah.
In very heavy detail in the 14 episodes, which we've had many at this point.
Yes, very many. Welcome to the 14 podcast.
Yes.
Just kidding, limit break. 14's ours now.
And so there's been a documentary release that goes over in just as much detail as we have in the past, but with some good interviews with people at Square Enix talking about 14 1.0. That's the first 30 minutes of the documentary. Then how it changed into 2.0 and then onward after that. So I think it's a pretty cool documentary. It doesn't have anything that we didn't know about in it. I watched it. I was like, okay, is it going to give us anything new here? It didn't, but a lot of people don't know about it, I guess, at this point. And so...
Wait, not everybody has an FF podcast? That you're trying to tell me?
Not everybody has an FF podcast and had to look up all this information about how 1.0 turned into 2.0.
Weak.
Yeah.
All right.
But it is a well-made piece of work. So if you want to check that out, that is on NoClip's YouTube channel. It's Final Fantasy 14 documentary, and it's a 3-parter. And I thought it was really well made. So.
All right, cool. Did you watch all 3 parts?
I did watch.
Okay, because I was gonna say it looks like they're all out by now. So
yeah, part 1 I thought was the most interesting because it talked about 1.0 in pretty heavy detail.
Something we don't know that much about, other than the fact that the cutscenes make your
But you got to hear Koji Fox say, we did our best work when it was. We did our best work questing wise. Like they were making up these because they could do anything they wanted when they knew that the game was going to be reset.
Yeah.
When they put up updates, they would do like these crazy storylines about like snowmen and shit. And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I would love to be on the, like I've said in the past, I would love to be on the FF11 scenario team at this point. Like, I can't imagine there are that many people working on 11, right? But you could just do whatever the fuck you want. Like, I would just make, like, El Husk and New Boreas, like, actual characters, NPCs in the game. And you could, like, see their mindless adventures for the first little while, being completely incompetent with the game.
So, there also, the Final Fantasy 14 team seems to be... There's gonna be some sort of 15 and 14 crossover happening soon.
Oh, okay.
So get ready for that someday. Anyway, Schweiss, that's all I got. Oh no. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. This was interesting. So you gotta tell me who this guy is because I don't know anything about him.
Sungwon Cho. I've seen him on Twitter a couple times, and he's some Asian guy who just loves Final Fantasy IX like to no end. Like 9 is just the greatest thing in the world to him, and I've seen him numerous times. So when Shinru posted this on the forums, I was like, oh yeah, it's that guy, that 9 guy, and I guess he got a little a little creative with confirming that FF9 is the best in the series. So you can take a look at his little message.
Well, the best thing to be would be to look at this video. It's 25 seconds long, but there's some visual comedy going on, so you gotta watch for it.
All right. So he's handing him a $100 bill, he's stuffing it in his shirt. So, all right. So I guess we've been wrong all these years. Final Fantasy IX is in fact the best one if you slip a $100 bill into whoever is confirming that's pocket and or hand. So.
So that's a great little bit.
Yeah, he's done some fun stuff in the past. The Gooch. He's a pretty funny guy.
Not. I was looking up Final Fantasy news. I think late last night, and the first few things I saw were like Hironobu Sakaguchi confirms FF9 is the best Final Fantasy, and I clicked on the article, and it would be a clickbait article.
Oh, really?
That just had them seriously saying, Hironobu Sakaguchi just said that it was the best Final Fantasy. Not a joke. Did not show that video either.
Yeah, that's
dumb. And so I was like, wow. So now it's like everybody
thinks it's like legit because there are all these
like,
bullshit sites up. Yeah.
We've heard before that Hironobu Sakaguchi said that 9 was his favorite.
Yeah.
So this isn't real.
We're gonna have to get him on the show and ask him if it's his favorite and the best.
And the best.
Yeah. Like, I wonder how that would translate into Japanese. He's just looking at us like, what are you saying?
What the hell?
Are those not the same? Like, what do you mean? It's the best and my favorite. We only like the best.
I only like the best choice.
Yeah. Yeah, clearly.
Yes.
So, yeah, that would be fun. I'll have to get in contact with him. It's been a while.
Yeah.
We used to be a lot closer.
Since we chatted with
we had Dave over with the Gooch, and Dave got way drunk and he's an asshole when he drinks, right?
He is
just pissing on stuff. Like, that's what got him kicked out of the band. Like, got him kicked out of Metallica in the first place. And so he's gonna get kicked out of UFF too if he keeps that shit up. But luckily, none of the Mustaine urine got on the mics or anything like that, so it was fine.
He wasn't Mustained.
No, they weren't Mustained.
Wow.
But his honor was Mustained in the Gooch's eyes. So. Take that as how you will. The old Gooch eye, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Get it in the eye.
God, dude, that's the most disgusting.
But
what's more disgusting is what you have wrapped around your fucking microphone right now, that the UFF people have no idea what the hell you're doing.
Yeah, so I went to Cody, a good friend of ours.
Cody and Sarah Chronicles for old getting fat listeners.
Yes, and I went to their wedding, and I got the garter from her, and it's like a trophy for me now. So I've got it right next to my mic, so it's like wrapped around, all lacy. I put it around my neck last week. That was pretty hot. Especially when I started like kind of passing out, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm in my happy place." But yeah, so that's what I've got. I'm gonna try to collect every garter from all of my friends and just have like this massive.
Your friends shouldn't have any garters
around. No, the Caleb. I've seen Caleb wear a garter.
That is just not true.
Caleb, come on. We searched up and down.
Fishnets, maybe. Garter.
We mostly searched down.
Yeah, we searched up and down the state trying to find a lingerie shop in your size, and when we did, I was happy, and I'm just sharing that joy with the UFF community right now.
All right, well, let's chat a little bit about this new game that's coming out this week. Okay, I need to zoom up. This camera is like right. Could you press control real quick?
Yeah.
That's good.
Foe Breaker.
Too much. Okay, there's a rule. No shot under 2 seconds long. By the way, it's a rule in quotes, but yeah, it's supposed to make it like not look like you just had a panic attack. Like in the studio.
Well, I freaked out in one of them because like the buttons weren't working.
Oh, the buttons weren't working.
Yeah. So I was like trying to like get it to go on, switch between, and then all of a sudden it was like.
Any good shit in the chat? I can't actually see the chat.
No, they're just saying, hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
Also, I'm glad you got your mug, man. Fun to mop. It's awesome. Sent those off. You have to tweet me the picture, like you said. I want to see how they look. I'm always concerned because the image where we get it done, like the nice ones that I want to make, they keep telling me it's copyright infringing, which it probably is for the Season 1 logo and Season 2 logo, to be honest.
On Walmart?
No, on Cafe Press. Cafe Press has nice looking mugs. Walmart ones are good looking, I would say.
Yeah. But Walmart doesn't give a shit if they're doing
No, Walmart is, yeah, they don't
So we have to make the mugs through Walmart.
Yeah, so I'm always like, fuck. Because I always jump on Cafe Press when it comes time for mug making. Because we're always way behind on the fucking goals and like setting our shit out.
We shouldn't be anymore, right?
Oh, we still are. We owe bumper stickers to people. I haven't sent those off.
Oh, okay.
But it's fucking every time I get on a Cafe Press and I'm like, why don't I just use Cafe Press? Like, why am I using Walmart? It looks like shit. And then I go and it's like, oh, we opened declined because of copyright. I'm like, that's why we use Walmart every time. It's happened like 3 times now over the last 3 years we've done this show. Where I'm just like, why? These ones are like really nice, like really fucking nice, and that's why. So.
Okay, when we get Season 3 artwork.
Yeah, well, Stolas, like, yeah, speaking of that, Stolas, we will have it figured out for Season 3 with the logos you've sent us. Those aren't an issue, so
yeah,
it is figured out. It's just, I like the design for Season 1, the black. I feel like that fits our show better than the blue, so I just still use the old design for a lot of the Patreon stuff.
Yeah,
because it's cooler. I should probably update that, but for Season 3, I think I will switch it over, and it'll just be that season's mug kind of a thing.
All right.
So it'll be fun.
You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so I have this article up here from rpgsite.net, and it's supposed to have all the changes that we know about from Zodiac Age.
Yeah.
The original 2007 version. So then the first thing it talks about is the international Zodiac job system changes that were made in the 2007 version.
Right.
That was only released in Japan.
Yeah.
It was called the International Zodiac job system because they just like to lie.
It is international to us. And also every other country in, the world, but that's okay, Japan.
Okay, so instead of a singular gigantic license board that all the characters use to gain access to abilities and equipment, which is what we're used to in FF12.
Very large.
An International Zodiac Job System, or IZJS, which I will never remember. Each character must choose one of the 12 license boards available.
That honestly sounds like the 16 personalities thing, the IZJS. It's like, oh, I'm an
IZJS.
Yeah. Introverted, zesty Japanese schoolgirl. That's what IZJS is.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, whatever you look, because mine's ENTJ and you're INTJ.
Yeah.
Every time I look up ENTJ in like a forum or something, because people like get obsessed with these things.
Yeah, they do.
Including myself, obviously, because I've looked this shit up. But there are people like commenting upon ENTJ people or whatever the personality type is, and ENTJs are just seen as evil.
Yeah.
Just fucking evil people. And to be fair, it is the personality type, apparently, on the Myers-Briggs, and people can think it's bullshit or not, that's fine. Apparently it's the personality of Stalin, or was it Stalin, or was it the other one?
I think one of us is Stalin and one of us is Lenin.
Oh, it's Lenin.
And
Mine is Lenin, I think yours is Stalin.
Yeah.
So ENTJ is Lenin, and then Napoleon and Julius Caesar.
Yeah, so pretty awesome.
Sure, yeah. Awesome to some people.
Yeah. If you're
For others who are like, meh, chauvinist pigs.
Well, mine, I'm the same as Vladimir Putin. His is mine as well.
I can believe that.
So, yeah.
I can believe that. Totally.
Well, we're really close to the middle of it though, so we can probably swing both ways if you know what I'm saying, depending on the
It
day.
depends on the day.
Yeah. So.
Most people are like that though. Their personalities are
Yeah.
always the same.
That's why a lot of people don't take that shit into consideration or like really heavily do it. But a lot of people, there are people that are obsessed with that. I mean, so you know, I know what you mean. So IZJS, that's the one to beat.
IZJS, and you can choose one of these 12 different jobs in that version. So this was Archer, Black Mage, Bushi, which sounds like a deep, dark porn category.
I'm into the Bushi now. There's no going back.
And the Foe Breaker.
Alright.
That's pretty hot. Knight, Machine. It says Machinist in the article.
Machinist.
I think they misspelled it, is what we're saying.
This says Machinist.
I know, but it's supposed to be Machinist.
Okay, alright, fine.
Thank you.
Monk.
Caleb Craig on the show.
Apparently it was too long of a word, but they could put in Red Battle Mage.
Yeah.
See, I call bullshit. I think it's supposed to be Machinist.
And then Shikari.
Time Battle Mage.
Oh, nice. Blue Mage. Or not Blue Mage, Time Mage. Sorry.
Ulan.
Ooh.
Ulalan. And White Mage. Which many of these jobs, of course, we're familiar with, and then many of them, I don't know what the fuck they are.
I'm familiar.
Like, oh yeah, what's Ulan?
You'll find out. Ooh la la.
Ulan.
Yeah. No, I'm just fucking with you. I don't know what it is.
Once a character selects one, like what type of class it's going to be on that board, they are locked in it forever and are unable to change. And you set these boards right at the beginning of the game. In this other version, of course, you could directly control guest characters and espers. So about that job board thing, I do believe you're allowed to select multiples.
You can do two.
Now.
Yeah, you can have two active at the same time, but you can do the upgrades for all of them, I believe. So, like, you can make it, in the end, it'll be Final Fantasy XII again, where you have everything for everybody, but you can only have two of the jobs active at once. So it's like Final Fantasy V. That's why I'm excited for it, is because it's like FF5 and FF12's battle system had a hot date, and this is their child, their offspring is Zodiac. It's a Japanese schoolgirl, IZJS. is the hot reproduction of 12 and 5.
So apparently,
it's still a baby though. So
in that version, and likely to be in our version, you could control a fourth guest character.
Yeah.
Remember, you had other characters that were in the game. You could actually level them up, but the only thing you couldn't do with them, and with the espers, by the way, is that you could not swap their equipment.
Yeah. Yeah, you couldn't mess with anything, and it sucked.
Super lame. Okay. Quadruple game speed turbo, Schweiss.
Yeah, so while you're walking around, I mean, and in Final Fantasy XI and Final Fantasy XII, I will say, there is a lot of walking to be had. These are big worlds.
There was a time when this podcast had not yet played FF11.
Yeah.
And I thought of FF12 as this gigantic game.
Yeah.
I was wrong. FF12 is a puss when it comes to how big its maps are. Total puss. Tiny little friendly little game.
I thought you were going to say tiny friendly little puss. I was like, easy! Jeez! But I said it instead.
I like them tight.
Yeah, all tiny.
Well, you do. I mean,
wow. Great.
Well, obviously.
All right, so you could go to 4 times the speed of live gameplay, be that combat or exploration.
There you go. I didn't know the combat could be sped up. Dude, this is going to be just like Final Fantasy VII on PS4, where I'm like, I don't know if times 3 speed is for me. And then I do times 3 speed, and I go back to regular speed, and it's like, oh, God, this is a crawl. How did I get through 9? If I thought 9 was slow and 7 was fast, and now 7 is way slow, doing 9 would just be like,
dude, the problem.
I'm just sitting there, just like, come on.
I don't know why Square does this. I have no idea. The only game they should do that for is FF9. It's the only game they should do that for. I have no idea why Square does this, because what makes a game less playable
than a slow fucking battle system?
Then suddenly speeding it up for the player, and you could go back and forth. You're obviously going to do the sped up version. You've been given too much freedom.
Yeah.
With like how quickly you can beat this game. Where's the fun part in it?
Dude, I'm so excited.
Just like make it go as fast as you can, set the gambits, and hopefully your guys don't die.
Well, it would make grinding a lot easier.
Yeah. Although Joe, because you could do ×4 with that bullshit grind thing.
Yeah.
So when this game wins the Nude Clan vote,
that's not even funny.
You can just
That
go
is
into that
not
dungeon,
even funny.
turn on ×4 speed, and it'll take a day instead of 4 days to get your guys up to 99.
Well, I'd like to grind on the wolves for the license points. So doing that with like the double LP items would be a lot easier.
Yeah, that's a good way to get way ahead in the very beginning. Although we don't know with the Zodiac job version, like,
yeah, dude,
are the glitches still there? Can I go farm Destia for levels?
But
Like,
the problem is with
I don't
those
know.
games, you have to have everybody be the same, and then manipulate the gambit system past that. If you have a certain job, you might not have some of those abilities.
That's true. What I wonder though is,
Makes me nervous for my cheating ways with FF12. I did play the game for real the first time though, twice. I know you think that like I've never played FF12 without cheating. It is not true. I played it just fine before. Now it was a very difficult game the first time I played it.
Yeah.
But and admittedly I did cheat the fuck out of it the second time around. But I have in fact had an experience playing all of FF12 before. So
All right.
all I'm saying is that get the fuck off my back about that
I'm
shit.
just saying it happened. I'm just saying it'll be even easier for you to do Joe Core leveling.
Assuming that
I'm assuming that you play it to begin with. Yes.
they also added a trial mode.
Yeah, this is like a little trial, sort of Coliseum-esque game mode where you fight enemies that get sequentially more and more difficult as it goes along. And the one cool thing about this, one of the things that took me forever in Final Fantasy XII before was trying to get all of the rare game and all of the entries for the bestiary filled out, because that's a lot of shit. That's like hundreds of enemies that I had to kill.
And some of them to get to pop.
Yeah, some of them are ridiculous. Like, I don't even know how I did it the first time I played the game. There's one guy where you have to have Reflect casted on your character and bounce a spell off of you and hit him to make him appear so you can hit him. Like, that's one of the guys.
Fuck that.
Yeah, and I remember playing it the first time, looking at it, I'm like, why is that
Also,
frog?
don't open that treasure chest.
Why is that frog
Whatever you
invisible?
do.
And I'm like, and then I think I was in a fight with somebody, and the fire bounced off of me and hit him, and I was like, oh my god, that's how you get him to pop. This is amazing. But yeah, a lot of those guys, a lot of the rare game are going to be part of the trial mode, from what I've heard from
100 stages where players are pitted against a group of enemies or boss creature. We did just get a thing in the chat that says Yasmat will not take 6 hours anymore.
That's good. It was a long fight, dude. It was crazy.
Well, then where's my satisfaction from that original fight? Where's it gone?
I don't know if you never play it.
Means that with the speed thing, it won't take 6 hours.
It won't take 6 hours. It will only take 2.
Yeah.
A measly 2 hours to beat a boss. Other changes: quickenings no longer require MP and use their own gauge.
Oh wow.
Oh.
That's interesting. I wonder what the gauge is going to look like then. Because that was always something that was kind of stressful.
So would you be able to pop it more often or less often?
Yeah, because that made some of the fights kind of tough, because if you didn't kill whatever you're fighting with the quickenings, then you don't have any MP left. So that's going to be weird.
They gain more.
Maybe
gain
more
MPs,
like a limit break thing, like in 7, where they build it up.
Maybe.
You gain MPs through leveling up rather than by unlocking more quickenings.
Okay, cool. So you gain the magic points naturally.
That's interesting. I wonder why they did that. Two versions of New Game Plus. One where the characters start out at level 90.
Nice.
Which is called Strong Mode. And one where characters never level up at all. Weak Mode. Unlocked after beating Trial Mode. Mode.
Oh my god.
Nothing is carried over into either of these files.
That's crazy.
Why would you not... Wait, does Strong Mode make everything else more tough?
No, I think it just makes you strong.
Well then, yeah,
the other
vote
one
it
is
for
just...
the Newt clan, because I'm going to start on level 90 and clear the fucking game.
Well, you have to beat the regular game first.
Fuck. Damn it!
Oh,
Okay, Craig will beat the game for me.
will be a Parasite Eve
on the
thing
first
where
time through.
you don't actually get to count it.
That's right. Hell yeah, dude.
The 9999 damage limit has been removed. That's exciting. We've had other games in the past where it shows 4 nines, but really it's like 13, 14,000.
Yeah.
And then of course Final Fantasy X broke that. And 11, we would love to get that much damage, but that's not.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, it'd be cool if I did more than a couple hundred most of the time.
God, I can't believe. Oh my God, thank you for reminding me of that. Just like some people played 11 for so long and have gotten those tiny little stat boosts
Yeah.
for so fucking long, but they are fucking gods in 11. You know how fucking long that shit takes.
More than 23 days.
I remember being down there at the last area that we were grinding.
Yeah.
In the tree, you know.
Yeah, the tree.
And we were trying to get these item drops or something, and there was just this one guy who was just gathering everybody, and then he would mow them down.
Yeah.
I couldn't take on more than one guy at a time in that same basement.
Yeah. Do you remember bringing? I think it was Art. He was a blue mage or something. And then we also had a blue mage that was helping us grind ambuscades at the end. And he was like, all right, guys, go grab all the dudes. And then we grab all the dudes, and then he just one-shots, and it just annihilates everything. Everything in sight. So it is pretty sick what you can get up to, the longer you work up towards it in 11.
It's pretty sick.
It is pretty sick. It's
like disgusting.
Like foul.
Really?
Removes it invades all the senses.
Nose
is what
hairs,
I would say. Yeah.
perhaps.
Yes. Exactly what it is.
Perhaps like a disgusting, gaseous, onslaught of the senses.
Yes, that is exactly what it is. Yeah.
In the middle of a podcast episode, perhaps.
Maybe. Not necessarily, though. Alright, so we also have 16 new Gambit options, so that's gonna be fun. More customization.
I want to hear what this conversation sounds like to other people.
Yeah. Well, I think it's obvious now.
God, dude.
So
I can't help it not being. I can't. They'll be like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah.
We're talking about something
going on
Something
here.
strong.
So some enemy stats have been altered, and there are a couple of new enemies, actually. So treasure chests respawn by only moving 1 screen away rather than 3 screens. So if you're trying to farm treasure, you can do that a little easier. Contents have been slightly changed. Some of the magics that you had to purchase in store must be found in chests. Now that's going to be an issue because there's a trophy for getting all of the magics. So if you don't find it, you're going to have to look up online where you're going to need it, I guess. So
You would have had to do that for popping all the dudes anyway.
yeah, that's true. That's very true. We've got some recategorized magics. Bravery is now a white magic instead of a green magic spell. Okay, that didn't matter to us because we didn't have green mages.
And some rewards for hunts have been altered.
Yeah, this one's really exciting. The Zodiac Spear. So one of the things that Joe bitched about for probably like 5 minutes on the 12 review is the fact that he couldn't get the strongest weapon in the game because he opened a chest at the beginning of the game, right outside of the
Yeah, fuck me, right?
Yeah.
Because somehow, I guess this is Ian Malcolm's chaos theory at work here. Me opening this chest affected way down the line me getting this weapon. So,
Dude, that's why I didn't open a single chest in my playthrough.
Well, you got to, man. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
Dude, every time I opened a chest in like one of my playthroughs, it was just like 10 gil. It's like every single time, no matter where I was, no matter like how late in the game it was like 10 gil. So it was like, fuck that.
Yeah. Well, you did it wrong.
So, what does it say here? That original, if any of the 4 various chests is open, the player can no longer easily get the Spear.
Yeah, so they've removed that restriction, the 4 chests of doom, and the Zodiac Spear is in a different place entirely.
Well, there's some weird. Maybe it wasn't on purpose. Maybe it was just like some weird glitch.
But it was in the guide. It was in the fucking guide.
Like, we can't fix this glitch. They need to get this. They need to get the spear here, and then every time they try to get that spear, it affects everything else in the game.
They were like, "Give me the CEO of Brady Games right fucking now."
They moved where the spear is?
Yeah, it's in a different spot. They They've adjusted. So I
Fuck,
don't know.
now I can't just like go to it immediately.
You can't fucking Zodiac Spear rush.
Dude, that's what I did. I got that thing like halfway through the game, and then just was like, it's over after that.
Yeah, it does. It does make it way
So
easier.
those were all changes to the original Zodiac thing. Now they've added in this new HD remastered version of the game we never got a second job for each character.
Right, yeah. We got the primary and the secondary job, so.
Okay, so this can be done after defeating the Laius, and once a character unlocks the proper license node in the primary job board. Wow. Okay, sweet. That's awesome. Job selections are still permanent though, so.
Oh, this is a really cool thing too. There's a map overlay in this version of the game. So the map in Final Fantasy XII is pretty good, especially when compared to 13 or even 11's. 11's is like, it's pretty solid.
I think 13s can be fixed, right?
I don't know. I never fixed it. It just changed fucking direction.
No, I
on
think
me
I
all
think
the
in
time.
the settings of 13 you could make it so that it was always pointing the same way.
Oh, so like fix map? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like why isn't the fixed one the default? And then if you really want to get crazy.
Yeah. Do you want your map to help you or make your life a living hell?
Well, it is 13, so you only need the map in one part of the game.
That's true. Yeah. Just the grand pulse.
Yeah.
But yeah. You
Otherwise, it's like move forward.
Yeah, you can click L3, and the area map will be overlaid onto the game, so you can kind of like follow along, and it'll show you where you've explored, where you haven't.
That's for those
yet.
speedrun moments.
Yeah, where you're just trying to go. That's how I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna go as fast as I can. So.
You can choose to fast forward battle at 2x speed rather than just 4x speed, like in the other version.
Such freedoms here.
It's like playing a game on emulator. Like I would do this with the old Final Fantasy. I think the first time I played FF6, I would grind like with the plus button on an old emulator.
Yeah, and you just go like max speed.
But I would only do that during grinding, and I have the self-discipline not to do that during every part of the game. But I mean, it's really hard. It's really hard to say no to always having the max speed.
Well,
on.
yeah, and I mean, we've already played this game. You've played it twice. I've played through it 3 times already in my life. So, I mean, we've put the time in. I feel like we deserve 4 times speed.
Now, we are obviously in a conflict here that the listeners don't know about, especially for our other show, Nude Clan. And it is whether or not we are allowed to nominate games that are just remasters for what we call the Uber game, which is every 12th week of our rotation for video game reviews on Nude Clan. We do a game that is new, or as new as we can possibly do.
Right.
And we each still nominate a game. It'll just have to be a new game now. If you nominate FF12, some of us think that perhaps our listener base might all of a sudden vote for Zodiac Job System being played on Nude Clan.
Yes.
As the Uber game, which means all 4 of us have to play the game. Now, my issue with Cameron playing 12 for the first time, the other 3 hosts have all played and beaten the original FF12, is that he will now have a 4 times speed boost as his default mode in FF12, and I feel like that's gonna ruin the experience for him.
He doesn't need to know that it exists.
I'm sure it's going to tell you.
All you do is press the what? Don't you just
L3.
press a button here to make that happen? L3 is the map one. So.
Oh, no, shit, you're right.
I'm
think
sure
it's
It
L1.
could be in like the options.
I think it's like L1 or something.
I bet there's a fast, like, switch way of doing it. I'm just betting.
Oh, Alistair says split FF from Nude Clan in his opinion. Well, the problem with that is we're not going to play this for UFF ever. And we're also never going to play the Final Fantasy VII remake on UFF ever. So those ones, I mean, if we're going to play them and do a review on them, we have to do it on Nude Clan. That's the reason why it's up for grabs on there, because we already reviewed 12. Remaster's not enough for us to really review it on the show.
Yeah, you could have it be a crossover episode.
Yeah.
Put the Nude Clan episode in the UFF feed.
We could, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah. Other additions: improved textures and visuals, which is of course what this is all
Obvious,
about.
yeah.
Improved sound and voice quality, which
That's
I do
good.
wonder if it's still going to be the super compression that's in the other game. It sounds like one of our podcast episodes,
Yeah, it's very compressed
where it's
as
like
well.
as bassy and compressed as possible.
Yeah.
Various gameplay balance and polish changes. No magic spell buffering due to the effects limits on the PS2 hardware. All spells cast immediately when ready. Nice. Autosave feature, which activates at every zone transition. That's amazing. Why aren't we talking about this?
Weak. That's part of the
Final
brutality.
fucking leave. Remember, that was one of the things about FF15 that's like, thank God they finally became a modern game and put autosaves in this goddamn thing.
FF2 had save states.
Just imagine, do you remember FF6?
Yeah.
Getting stuck.
Yeah.
Possibly no hope of going on.
There were a few really brutal moments. Yeah.
It's just like, wow, this is a bad place to save. Improved load time. A soundtrack toggle between the original soundtrack and a remastered soundtrack, which I have heard on a video you sent me. Someone said that it was fully
orchestrated. Yeah.
With like a live orchestra, which I would like to hear what that sounds like. I mean, the other one sounded great still, but I want to see what it sounds like with a real orchestra. A voice language toggle to choose between the Japanese and English voices at will. I actually think the voice acting FF12 is still the best in the series.
Yeah.
As far as the English tracks are concerned, but I would like to see the Japanese tracks. I think that should have been a thing for games since the beginning of time.
Yeah, it would be cool. I mean, it would avoid a lot of the really weird situations.
At least since voice acting started with the PS2 in the Final Fantasy games.
Yeah.
Ability to invert both the Y and X camera angles. Do you remember 12 was opposite of 13 when it came to camera angle pointing?
Yeah. So like getting into 13 was like, oh.
Like, why do they even change? Why isn't there like a set, like a booklet of Final Fantasy standards where it's like, camera shall always be default.
Text box must always be
to
blue.
do invert.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm seeing right there that's like the menu, and that's where the time speed
multiplayer selection, so you can select whether or not it's ×2 or ×4, but whether or not you're turning it on, obviously is outside of that menu.
Yeah, I think it said it was L1 earlier, which isn't a
because there's no off here.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So why would there be?
Anyway, so those are the list of changes that we know about from Zodiac job system. Schweiss, are you actually going to play this game? I know you ordered it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
I know a lot of people on Twitter are saying they're definitely going to play it. A lot of people are going to give 12 a second chance. That's what I've heard from people on the forums and stuff. 12 a second chance through the international Zodiac job system. I'm not going to give it unless I have to for Nude Clan. Craig, you look like you were about to say something.
I was just going to say that the only real reason that Schweiss bought it is because he wanted the little mini bust of Durant.
Yeah, that's a big reason.
The only reason he's actually going to play the game is trophies.
I'm starting to get really jealous of his fucking collection now. Really jealous.
Big old dong of FF
I
over
used
there.
to have all the Final Fantasy shit, and now I do not. Now I have been dwarfed completely. When I say Final Fantasy shit, I basically have a 10 special edition, and then I had like a few more games that Schweiss did. But now he's got the thing he got from Troy, which is the 15 collectors.
Yeah, the Mega Hog Uber 15 edition.
And as beautiful as the deluxe edition is, that version is it's just gigantic. And it's like, look at me and my big cock. And then
look at
it. And then stacked on top of it is the giant Stormblood box.
Yes.
That Schweiss also got for reasons I have no idea why he did.
And if you look to the right, we have the Final Fantasy 15's not in box, like the actual
another
case.
piece of the collector's edition.
Yeah, it's the one where the discs hang out, basically. And then next to that, we have the World of Final Fantasy Special Edition. And then next to that, Type Zero's Special Edition.
I do have that still.
The only one I haven't gotten since we've done, since I started getting obsessed with these was the Explorers one. And I looked at it, but it was like, I don't know, it's like $120. And now I can't get it on the store at all. Whereas before I could get it on the European store and have them ship it to me. I'm kind of shit out of luck for that one, which sucks, but I don't know. The only regret I have so far is that I kind of wish I had a Vita, and I would have bought World of Final Fantasy on the Vita. Because that seems like a handheld game. But I don't know how I feel about buying dead consoles. So, you know.
Oh my god. All right. So choice. We got some questions. We got an iTunes review, and we'll actually ask a question from us to you this week. So I say we get into that. Good stuff.
We'll proceed.
Oh man, we got one here from Chivers. That's ye old 5 future.
Chivers!
Chivers!
Goblins?
Hi. So as the series has gotten older, Square has transitioned from more of a ye old, almost medieval feel to what we see in Final Fantasy XV, a futuristic, machine-filled world. Wondering what everyone's preference is here in terms of this. Myself, I like the older, ye old feel that is definitely present in a lot of the earlier games, arguably 1 through 5. I think the next set, 6 through 10 and 12, was a good mix of both, and perhaps may have played a part in why they were so successful. Ultimately, I think I just have a problem with guns in Final Fantasy games.
What about gun blades?
Yeah, or what about Dirge of Cerberus? You really have a problem with guns and Dirge of Cerberus?
Guns are cool. Swords are cool. Let's put them together. God, dude. Well, we have been asked this question before, actually, a while ago. As long as they do it well, it's fine. Final Fantasy, I guess, it's evolved so much that you can pretty much get away with anything. So whether it just matters that the world is somewhat consistent. I think FF8's Gunblade is a good. It's a good. It's a good gauge on how bad that game is kind of mixed up in its Final Fantasy versus realism world, where let's put a sword on the gun and pretend like this isn't bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you feel about that, Craig? You look like you're about to say something.
It's just the whole gunblade thing is retarded.
Well, what about Lightning's Gunblade? It's the switcheroo that you don't know how it works whatsoever.
That one's, I would imagine, more effective because, like,
it's a gun or a blade, not both.
Yeah, and like, because you look at Squall's and the barrel of his gun doesn't go anywhere.
But look,
it just shoots the blade.
Okay.
So basically, all that happens is it sends a shockwave through the blade and it just shreds it.
Which would ruin your arm, by the way. That would hurt so bad.
It would hurt your arm and it would fuck up your weapon.
I stab you with Gunblade and then I pull that trigger. You're fucked.
The one that just sends like a little shockwave.
Now, could he have stabbed you?
He's not gonna shoot me. There's no barrel to go anywhere.
Could he have just stabbed you? Yes. Could he have just shot you? Yes. But why not, Caleb?
Why not both?
Why not both?
Because we already experimented with these weapons like forever ago and decided that they were useless.
That is true. That is true.
Okay. Well, what is that? What is that kind of gun they used to have, where they would like slide on the blade part when they ran out of ammo?
The bayonet,
like,
is that what you're saying?
Yeah, bayonet. Yeah.
No, it's something else. They had like a real one. I think, didn't they?
Yeah, there was actual like gun blades. There's like there was one that was a.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, dude.
There was a. It's like a knife, but it has like a gun in the handle.
Yeah.
So you could like shoot and then stab.
It's crazy.
But the barrel was really short, so you needed to be like right there.
Yeah,
so
basically, you would have been stabbing him anyway, and if you like held it down, then the ball would have fallen out. So it was basically the most useless piece of shit ever.
Yeah, it was just a knife.
Yeah, it was basically just a knife that for some reason you could shoot if you felt like it.
Yeah.
Just like a big fuck you to the dude who was a cat's length away.
I'm not even gonna stab you.
I'm gonna stab you and shoot you.
You know what? I want to kind of talk about this on the show. So we played on New Plan. We played Dungeons and Dragons for the first time.
Yeah.
And we recorded us playing actual D&D with someone who knew what they were doing. And what it was to me was a really good gauge about like the history of RPG games. Having never played a real RPG, which is in-person RPG, as opposed to like when they started making video games of RPGs like Ultima and that other Ultima-like game that came out in the old computer games that were copying D&D and just making a computerized automatic version of it.
Right.
I thought it was really interesting, and it's obviously that Final Fantasy copied Dragon Quest, which copied other games, and they're all building over each other. They're all just building back to D&D. Seeing that sort of transition, the obvious thing is to be like, oh, D&D is a fantasy game, so it's fantasy. The fantasy seems like it's the natural element of it. But then they, of course, started adding steampunk stuff, and then eventually it just became sci-fi in a few of the titles, and then they move around from there. Schweiss, do you have a preference? I can't remember how we answered this last time, but of course we are changing people. People change over time, so maybe their opinions might change.
Yeah. I think I probably would have liked the medieval feel, and I still think I like that more. I feel like it provides a stronger soundtrack. Like 9's soundtrack, I would say, is stronger than 13's by a long shot, by like a mile. And I would say.
Are you just saying like they wanted the soundtrack that they have to make to match the setting?
Yeah, I'm saying the setting. Like I like the music for the setting. I like the setting itself. It's just appropriate. I mean, when you think about D&D, you think about knights, and you think about warriors, and it's kind of an old idea, an old school idea. Obviously, we still have war and conflict in modern days, but since we're using swords, it doesn't really make sense to modernize everything but the weapons. Like, technology doesn't just get really fucking advanced in one area and nowhere else. Like, you wouldn't have flying vehicles and still be using swords. Like, it doesn't seem logical to me. It's like, why don't we use some of this for warfare? Like, we're always fighting. Why don't we just end these fucking Arcadians or end these other fucking people? Just wipe everyone out that we want gone, right? So it just seems logical to have more advanced weapons when you have a more advanced world. So I think making it fit matters more than the style itself, but I do prefer
it's just been a long
medieval.
Time since they did the medieval.
I would say 12 is like a mix of them, and I would say that 8 is kind of a mix too. 9 is obviously medieval, and 10 is definitely not.
Yeah, but they all have some sort of sci-fi elements somewhere in there.
They do, yeah. The airships, the 10s is very sci-fi, honestly, with the world. So it's like
I'd say 7 is pure sci-fi.
Yeah, 7 is
and I love 7, so I can't really say I have.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it needs to fit. It needs to fit the game itself, and I feel like the score and the environment makes it more important than just which one you prefer. But I do prefer medieval.
I want to see 16 be back to medieval.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see. Medieval plus an airship will be good.
All right.
Right.
Dig it up in the desert like an FF1.
Oh, yeah. No. We at least got one response on there.
Not know how to do it unless you look up a fucking guide. Shinru says, I prefer medieval fantasy with some sci-fi elements like 1, 3, 4, 5, and 9.
Okay.
I guess 9 does have some sci-fi with the clones and shit, but I would say for the most part 9 is pretty medieval.
Okay, so we got a
rage question.
A rage question. So this is from Shinru, and I actually can't read it from here. Schweiss, could you?
Oh yeah, I got it. It's titled, Are You Disappointed in Square Enix Final Fantasy 30th Anniversary at E3 as well? Dissidia Final Fantasy NT announced a while ago, before E3, and we already knew it was coming for years. Final Fantasy Fishing VR DLC, we already knew a VR DLC was planned last year. Stormblood is just a 14 expansion, which was announced a while ago. FF12 HD is a game that we have known about for a long time. It's E3 2017, 30th anniversary of Final Fantasy. Yet they do absolutely nothing to celebrate the series. No ports of FF8 and 9 on PS4 like they did with 7 plus trophies. No FF1 through 9 PS4 disc collection. Nothing. Now, all right, look, let's stop it right there. The FF1 through 9...
There aren't enough games?
The FF1 through 9 PS4 collection was a rumor. So calling them out for not doing something that a rumor that was rumored for them to do is really stupid. That's like me being like, oh Joel, you should have bought me an energy drink earlier, and then you buy me one, and I'm like, no, you should have done it earlier. You should have just known. You should have just inherently known that I wanted this thing. That I was thinking like, oh, I mentioned to Caleb like maybe Joel will get me an energy drink, and then you didn't do it. So what the fuck? You didn't give me an energy drink. I talked to Caleb about it. Caleb and I made this prediction that I would get this energy drink, but I didn't get it. So what's going on? So I think that's kind of dumb. Because it was a rumor. Now, it might have been a rumor from a reputable source, quote unquote, not fucking reputable anymore, but it's still a rumor. So, like, expecting them to carry out something that was rumored that they probably weren't even doing anyways, it seems too much for me.
There needs to be a Steam bundle of all the Final Fantasy.
They need to have them on the PS4. I'll give it that. They should be available on all platforms.
And they're missing out on money when they don't do
They should
that.
just have backwards compatibility.
That would
This
work.
wouldn't be an issue.
That would work too, but they would make more money just porting them all, which I feel like they should.
A port, not asking for a remake, asking for a port. Which shouldn't be that hard for a giant like Square Enix to pull off.
The 8 and 9 on PS4 wouldn't be that hard to do. I mean, they did it with 7 and
Tell me, programmer Craig. No.
oh, I don't think it would be.
Well, yeah, but 7 is one of the biggest games ever, and 8 is
And
not.
they ported it on
No,
Steam.
It's not. They did port it on Steam, and they ported it on Steam before they made it PS4.
Yeah.
Plus, they gave them the updates that have like those little the God mode, the
Yeah.
3 times speed, like
Yeah.
whatever, like that adds like value to people. So you port that over, and people will get it.
Yeah, so he says, I was surprised at the UFF episode after E3, and you guys seemed calm and chill. Most of the FF forums and fan sites I hang around are furious and hating really strong on Square Enix right now. I'm not hating on them for
I'm
that.
still chill.
I if anything, I would be mad at them for 15, but I've already expressed that.
Are we the voice of reason?
I think
Because
we might be.
That's insane.
I know, because we're nuts,
Well,
right?
the year isn't even over, so they could still do like a
No, no,
surprise
no.
thing at the end.
I think
Nobody
it's... Yeah, it might be a little late for that. Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I didn't even
They
watch...
just gave us a huge release with 15. I don't think they're ready to then pump any more money.
They're
into
giving
Final
us the
Fantasy.
12. I mean, yeah, they...
Yeah, they are giving us the 12.
And honestly, I didn't even watch the Square Enix portion of E3. I'll tell you that right now. You know why?
I didn't watch any.
Because
of
we
it.
got 15. We know the 12 remake is coming, or the remaster. What else is there? Nothing is the answer. Obviously, there's nothing left. Like, so I didn't even watch their portion. I just saw what games they had on other consoles.
Yeah, it's just bad timing for all their IP.
Yeah, and it's weird to empathize with them. But I know you guys have a bunch of FF games to play, so you aren't really looking forward to announcements. But do you agree that this is a very poor way to celebrate 30 years of Final Fantasy without even porting the old games to modern systems for people to play? Do you think fans have the right to be pissed off or disappointed right now? I feel like the right to be is... I mean, you do. You have the right to do whatever you want. Do I think it's justified? Not really. I think most people probably couldn't run a lemonade stand, let alone a multi-billion-dollar company. So I think it's kind of harsh to say that you could. So that's one point I would bring up.
Okay.
I mean, I guess as a fan, if there's like a series that's been out for like 30 years, and you're a huge fan of it, and they've been doing big stuff like every once in a while, and 30 is a huge anniversary. Like
Yeah.
every 10 years is like crazy.
Yeah, but you got to realize this.
Like they celebrated the shit out of like the 75th Batman anniversary. Like,
Well, that's a lot more than 30. But
I know it's more than 30.
They also
but,
have
like,
to realize that.
If I were running Square Enix, I would have done something for the 30th. So it is odd that they didn't, but I don't know what the point of being angry about it is. We got like 6 different games
Plus, it's like
that came out between last year and this year, so I don't.
Why would they necessarily celebrate the 30th anniversary at E3? They could just do their
No,
own.
they want to announce something for the 30th at E3. That's
Yeah.
like a big deal.
Well,
But we got fishing minigame instead.
I know, but they had like their own big event when they were like
They do.
announcing 15, and they could just do that whenever they want, anytime.
And they
this
do.
year.
They stream shit.
Yes,
just
they
like
could
random.
just do it whenever. It doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily have to.
So I think
be
what Caleb's getting at is that it's not over yet. So I mean, we
There
could have
still
something.
could be something, if not it doesn't
We got
really
the Zodiac
matter.
Cage. We got a fishing minigame. We got multiple expansions to 15. We're getting Dissidia, MT.
Not that I'm excited for that, but yeah.
There's enough stuff coming out that it's fine,
Yeah.
but you know, if they do happen to announce something later in the year, just consider yourself lucky.
Frankly, I think they should put out less shit. This is a different opinion, I think, than what a lot of people hold. So we're going through every single Final Fantasy game, and it's not just a selfish I have to play every fucking game, so stop making all these fucking games.
Yeah, it is.
Some of it is that. The other thing is like up until they started doing 10-2 and then the compilation of FF7, the Final Fantasy series was primarily the single game coming out every 2 or 3 years. I wish we would be back to that model.
Well, sort of. I mean, we did get Tactics the same year as 7, I believe. Wasn't it 97
Yeah.
for Tactics?
It was. It came out side by side, and that's why Cloud is a special character.
Yeah, so I mean, they've been doing side Final Fantasies for a while now, but I think it really picked
There
up
was a blow up in 2000.
in 2000. Yeah. I was going to say, once the GameCube shit started happening and the Game Boy, that's
Yeah.
when it was like...
Yeah, I noticed those Crystal Chronicle things popping up like everywhere, and I was like, didn't they just come out with that like 2 months ago?
Yeah. There are like 6 Crystal Chronicle games. I think 5 or 6.
Play 'em all.
They're coming up, too, right after the Tactics. So...
Tactics series.
Yeah, right after the 5 Tactics games.
Well,
Or
there's
4 or
3.
No, we're
Oh,
doing,
yeah.
we're
Evil
doing,
Lease Alliance.
Of Tactics, there's only
technically some of them are 12, I think. 12 and Revenant Wings aren't part of, or one of them's not part of Evil Lease.
They both are part of Evil Lease Alliance.
It's not part of the Alliance. One of them isn't. There's a game that we have in Evil Lease Alliance that's not technically Evil Lease Alliance, but it is a tactics game.
I think it's Vagrant Story. Is technically not part of that, but it is an Evil Lease.
One of them. There's something, but I mean, we're gonna play them all anyway.
Because it's not a Final Fantasy, and I
Evil
think
Lease-
that's why it's not.
The
part of
Evil Lease
Lease.
Alliance is like a certain sub story, I believe, or a sub.
Evil Lease
version.
Alliance is just all games that take place in that world.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think there's
It might be Tactics Advanced then, because Tactics Advanced takes in a place of like an alternate version of Evil Lease, so it's not like the same one as like.
There's something, yeah. I remember looking at the actual Evil Lease
That's
Alliance
why
page. and, like,
Advanced is fucking bullshit.
I think Revenant Wings wasn't on there, and I think something else wasn't on there.
It might be Tactics Advanced.
So,
So like I know.
Doesn't matter. They're
It
all-
doesn't. We're gonna play them, but
We're
yeah.
gonna play it.
So I would say, I don't know if it's a poor way to celebrate. I mean, it would be cool if they did port all of those games to the modern systems, but I don't know. I'm not really pissed off or disappointed necessarily. I mean, I'm getting a remaster of 12. Like Joe said, we did just barely get 15, which, I mean, I do feel is incomplete personally, but I put 100 hours into it, so how can I even complain? I didn't even pay for the damn thing, and I put $100 into it. That's sick.
100 hours.
100 hours.
Is it dollars?
I think I put 15 or 20 bucks into the season pass. Haven't used it at all yet, but I will. Once Ignis comes out, I'll probably play all 3 a day and call it good.
That fishing.
No.
I'm not gonna do that.
No. I don't have a VR head. I'm not gonna buy a VR headset for $400.
Well, I thought you liked fishing though.
So on the
In real life, I don't need to eat the fish in the 15 thing.
on the 25th anniversary, they did have a gigantic Japanese box set where they had every single Final Fantasy game in it. Of course, you would have to have the different systems because I think the FF3 one was still the DS one.
Oh wow.
But that's what they had, and it looked amazing. Obviously, they didn't do the packaging for English language release, but that's their prerogative,
Yeah.
I guess.
That would be cool.
It would be cool to have something like that, or like a release of all the games on Steam in one, or on Steam on the PS4 in one package. Digitally would also be awesome. I do wish that they would do something like that, but you know what? It's just a date.
Yeah, it's gonna. I mean, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen anyway. We're probably gonna get all the games ported at some point.
At some point,
I feel
maybe
like-
a new company president.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
Get something
As soon
done.
as 16's announced, they just like start blowing everyone with the Final Fantasy games.
And of course, the famous FF Peasant YouTuber said he's done with Square Enix. Don't give a shit.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
Didn't that guy like quit his job or something to like report on Square Enix and weird fan theories and shit?
Someone told me he makes a living off of doing what he does.
Yeah, I'm
So
pretty sure he
isn't
does.
that like a terrible idea?
I don't think it. Oh yeah, to be done with Square Enix, yeah, probably for him.
I'm making a shitload of money doing this, and I'm gonna quit doing it.
I don't know about a shitload, but enough that he can quit his job.
Yeah.
I still can't read these twice.
All right, you still want to do one more?
Yeah, let's do one more, and we have cleared the questions on Ultima.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we've had a lot of questions for Nude Clan.
Yeah.
And UFF has slowed down, probably because we're in the 14. We had something similar that happened when we were in the middle of 11.
Yeah, we did.
When we play the single-player games that people are more familiar with, they tend to be a little bit more active. And then when we start playing the MMOs, they're like, "Oh, it's the MMO lol for Ultima."
Yeah. Sorry, it's gonna be there for a while.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
All right, so this one is from Fun to Mop. Hey guys. Well, it's titled Ranking FF Soundtracks, by the way. Hey guys, I know you have ranked some of your favorite songs, as well as had two-part episodes profiling Nobuo Uematsu, but I was wondering if you had discussed and ranked the soundtracks in the main series as a whole. I think we did, actually, one time.
I think so. I think it was revisiting the Final Fantasy series.
It was, yeah.
Episode.
And how do they coincide with your overall ranking of the games? Do you find the better games have better soundtrack scores? Okay, how do they coincide? I would say very strongly.
Yeah, I would also say the same thing with gameplay and story elements as well.
It just feels like it almost feels to me like they get it right everywhere when they get it right. You know what I mean? Like,
that must be it, yeah.
because, I mean, I think 12 has better. Personally, I like the gameplay in that more than any other game in the series. It just barely edges out 13, 2, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Gameplay wise, okay.
But and 12 is not up at the top. Like it's 4 for number 4, right?
Okay.
Where it belongs. But it's not top 3, and the soundtrack is weaker in that one. So I think the top tier, the highest echelon of Final Fantasy, the 7, 6, 10 area, right? 9 if you like callbacks, or if you're Sakaguchi. And I feel like all of those have all 3 elements working for them. And I do think soundtrack is one of the very important aspects of it. I mean, you need something memorable. You need something good. It needs to fit more than anything. But I think in all 3 of those games, it does. The soundtrack is absolutely incredible, and it works very well within the world itself.
There are some soundtracks that I do think are better than the game itself, like FF4. Once again,
FF4
is the
has an
FF4
incredible
soundtrack is amazing.
Yeah.
And FF4 the game to me is kind of mid tier. It was very important for the series, very influential, and I understand why it's a classic. But for me, ranking all the games is kind of mid tier, lower mid tier, and so I think there's some exceptions to that. But I do think we already ranked them. But yeah, when Square Enix gets right, they kind of get all 3 of them right. Like 13. Great gameplay. I think the story is muddled, and then I think the soundtrack has good things about it, but I don't really love the soundtrack in comparison to the others. So that is one of those things. Like they're gonna get one. Maybe each game they have, they're gonna get one thing right, and then just like
fuck the rest.
There's like a rotating.
Until they get one that's all 3.
What do you? It's like a slot machine, and you're just like. Every time they make a new Final Fantasy main series game, they pull the lever, and then like you'll get a couple 7s in there, but then the rest of it's just gonna be they're gonna fuck it all.
Nice. So let's see. Is there a game in the series you enjoy but cannot get into the music at all? Yeah, I would say 12's music isn't the best. I mean, when I re-listen to stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, I like that song.
I remember that song. That's what that is.
Yeah, so I would say it's...
12 has forgettable music. Like it's not bad music.
Yeah, so it's not a couldn't get into it at all. I don't think that's been true at all in the series. I don't think I've ever had a soundtrack where I was like, I just can't get into the soundtrack at all.
That would be 8.
No, 8 has some great pieces.
8 has like 3 good songs, and then it has
yeah, they sound like little farts.
And you're into them too. You love the flavor of those 3 songs, right?
Those 3 songs, yes, but like every other song is just garbage.
It's just heavy, you know. It like lays itself on you, and it just sticks
like a sticky gas.
And I don't
gaseous substance.
I don't think having 3 songs out of like 40 makes a good soundtrack.
I don't know. I think it has more than 3 but I know what you mean. What about
I agree with Craig.
let's see. What about Chocobo Songs? I just want to be able to disable them, honestly. I spend so much time on the Chocobo and like the mounts. 14s,
How about the mounts at 14?
14's disabled, 11's mount music disabled. I can't
Can't see
anymore.
it
No,
anymore.
fuck, dude, no, I can't. Like 11's is just burned into my ear retinas. I just can't unhear it.
Your ear retinas?
Yeah, it's just. It's never gonna go away. That's gonna be the last thing I hear as I'm fading from existence. That fucking mount music, just like dying. My eyes are rolling back, and it's just gonna start getting really echoey inside my head.
Funny, 99% of our listeners have no idea what the fuck
Exactly.
we're talking about.
Exactly. Turn it off when you do it. Just turn it off.
Just turn it off.
Just hear. That's the best song in 11 right there.
Oh, there were good tracks in 11.
No, I know. Distant Worlds is one of the best in the series. But, well, let's see. How important is it for you, the songs within the score, to connect to the character representations? The themes, to me, they're okay. Like, when someone's like, oh, what about this person's theme? I'm like, Orin's theme, like, I kind of know what it sounds like, but it's not it's just a cool piece. So, like, it matters more to me that it's a good piece of music than the piece itself. Like, I know that they try to match the song to the character, but I don't know if I really noticed that much, except for with Terra's theme.
Terra's theme is used beautifully in FF6, and I think that's probably it's not the biggest soundtrack. I think it's the most well-used soundtrack dramatically, because there's like a lot of stuff that happens story-wise in FF6, and Nobuo and whoever was programming the sounds in the game, they really use the scores just really well in FF6 to usually to just give a good feel of the game, but they use the scores masterfully in that game.
Yeah.
And that was so many games ago now, Schweiss.
I know, it was a long
That's
time.
sad.
It is, yeah. He says, or driving the story, which we hit on, could be a good discussion as well as a listen to some great variations on the same themes. Yeah. Like I said, to me, it's more. It is important that it fits, and I feel like Terra's is definitely the best main character theme because it's just so impactful. It just is used perfectly. He says also, I know you're both into metal, but I highly recommend an album called Black Materia by nerdcore rapper Mega Ran. It's a few years old, but still qualifies as a regular listen and well worth the $8 on Bandcamp.
I'm not gonna spend $8 on a possible. I'm not gonna spend any money on an album of a band I don't already follow. I've become an old man. I'm just not gonna. No more new music, except for people I've already sunk my teeth into.
Yeah, I don't know. I still listen to music all day at work, so I can't be in that camp.
No.
I can't jump onto the podcast, dude. I don't know what it is. It's just too distracting.
I do try new podcasts all the time. Like sticking my fingers into the podcast.
You're testing putting your big toe in there, just like, ooh, is the water warm? He also says his recommendation leads into another music-related question. What are your favorite video game music cover bands that focus on FF or any JRPG or songs? His is a metal band called Descendants of Edric, also on Bandcamp. They do FF songs, Dragon Warrior, Secret of Mana, Chrono Trigger, as well as other games like Zelda, Castlevania, Mega Man. I don't know if I have any favorite cover bands.
I like the Black Mages a little bit.
Yeah, but that's not really a cover band. Isn't that something that like Naboo set up? Or am I crazy? Am I thinking of Disney Worlds?
I have no idea. I don't regularly listen to them or look up information.
Yeah. We also got the what I call the necessary submission of the Final Fantasy VII House article, and I think someone posted on the forum saying like, this is something that's been on every iteration of the forums ever, and I was like, it has, and it's like that. It's that thing that you need.
All right, who's the new forum member?
JD.
JD. Okay, Joseph DeGaulier. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He just came in under a thing. Okay. So, once again, the Final Fantasy VII house?
Yeah.
Okay. I vaguely remember this.
Yeah, it's that crazy,
wow. Okay.
So yeah, if you want to learn about that again, there's an article on the.
Wait,
on our
what is
forums.
this?
It's people in a Final Fantasy cult and like forced to live in this house. That's really weird. It's been a long time since I read it, but I remember it being very disturbing.
We might need a revisit on this. Maybe we'll do it next time because I don't have time to read it. Unfortunately, this is a reading article, and we don't do that on the show.
Yeah, that's true.
Live. So
We'll revisit that though.
Yeah,
Fun
that
them up.
sounds super weird.
Because
have to look
Craig
at it.
needs it. Craig needs to consume the FF7 house.
Apparently, I've never heard of this before this moment. So
Oh, okay. You gotta visit the forums more, man.
all right. Well, Schweiss, we do have some, or do we? Do we have a new iTunes review?
Yeah, we do. It's been like weeks since we've.
It's been weeks.
It's been weeks since we've had any sort of regular episode.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right. Let's
I
get
finished
it.
it, but I forgot the lyrics.
So did I. It's been 1 week since you looked at me.
All I remember is Chinese chicken.
Chinese chicken.
Get out of here with that shit.
Well, you don't like bare naked ladies?
No, I do.
The 3 naked ladies?
Bare naked ladies.
Bare naked. I thought you said the 3. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, Craig?
All right. So we have count them, 2 iTunes
Sweet.
reviews from the United States, greatest country in the world. One of the most entertaining
Best,
podcasts.
Fantastic country.
Yeah, tremendous. You wouldn't believe the kind of country we have here. By the Seminole Kid on June 21st, 2017. I've been listening since January of this year and have listened to all episodes since then.
Woo!
As well as the game reviews of the games I've done. These guys are hilarious.
Not even the guy who came on Chase last week. He didn't even listen to all the episodes.
Yeah.
It's like, I've listened to most of them. Like, okay.
These,
Which is fine, Chase. Thank you.
It is, yeah.
We got a lot of episodes.
These guys are hilarious, and I'm sure I'd listen to them even if I didn't care for any of the Final Fantasy games. I don't know if you would have ever found us, but okay.
I got New Clan.
That's true. The other day I was lifting weights while listening to the Fanfiction Theories episode, and had to stop mid-lift as I was laughing so hard at their take on Triple Triad and almost dropped the bar on my throat. I love Triple Triad and
So
FF8.
we've almost killed people.
Yeah. Maybe we have. Who knows? I love Triple Triad and
Guess we
FF8.
would never know.
No, we
In
wouldn't.
someone's obituary, he was killed doing what he loves best, lifting weights to podcasts, and it smashed him.
Yeah, and it's UFF. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I've been close to dying from laughter a few times from these guys before while driving, lifting, running, etc. Thanks
Maybe
for the show.
probably stop doing those things while listening to. It's like
Uh,
rock climbing, and he's listening to the podcast.
Don't do
It's like-
that.
It's rock climbing. What do
Free
you call it?
climb?
Free climbing. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
artist just like,
Shit! No! It's a rant!
well,
Oh my god!
At least let me be able to finish it. Or he's got his hand in like the crack of the wall. It just slides. And it just skins his hand.
Yeah.
For
Dude.
the pod.
Thanks for the show. Also appreciated the Megadeth cover of Eyes on Me. One question. Have you guys tried the real-life Final Fantasy trading card game? No, but we're gonna do it, and we need to do an episode on it at some point.
Oh fuck.
We were gonna do
Right.
this like 6 months ago when they announced
Oh.
it, but they haven't been MSRPing it. Like they've been kind of must be like a weird. I don't know. They're not getting it supplied like they normally do for most card games because they
yeah,
were.
dude, I ordered some back in like October of last year, and they have not sent it to me yet. And they're just like, we just don't have any in stock.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh shit. So
like everybody has like bought the shit out of it, and they're not getting any resupplies.
So we will once we get supplies.
Jesus.
I know,
Why
that's-
didn't I know about this?
the card game itself?
They're just
Oh, the scarcity.
the issue.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know, but I was looking on Amazon and they're like I could see the MSRP on the fucking box, right? It's like $10-15 more than that. I'm just like I'm not paying that for FF trading cards. Like no one. It's just gonna be us that use them. Like I don't know.
Okay. I think I can read this.
You can zoom in if you want.
Okay. All right. Perfect. My review of UFF by Harry Gooseballs.
Oh, cool.
5-star rating. Thank you, Harry Gooseballs. Do geese have balls?
I would imagine.
Yeah, they're probably internal though.
I think they have like a corkscrew penis too.
It's very
That's useful
disturbing.
information for you.
Okay, every animal I've ever heard of apparently has a corkscrew penis, so my question is, why don't I have a They seem like they'd be useful, right?
You just like cork it up, and then,
hell yeah, dude.
it makes like a spring noise when it comes
Open
around.
wine bottles a lot easier.
Yeah, sharpen that tip. Right.
So one day, while at work, I was bored and I had nothing to do. I found you, podcast, and sorry, dude, did you write this on your phone? This is what I'm assuming. Okay. I found you, podcast, and being a longtime FF fan, decided to give it a listen.
Nice.
Good shit. Excuse me while I get comfy on a pillow and put on some safety goggles so I can give an honest review.
Oh shit.
What does that mean? Whoa. Oh. Is he gonna blast explosion all over on himself?
Maybe.
Okay.
Explode.
Open a can of explode.
What I found was an amazing podcast. I hate seeing the word podcast as 2 words. Like, it bugs the shit out of me. And I know, like, spell check shit
It will
always does it. And I'm like, fuck you, spell check. Get on this. Podcasts have been around since, like, 06. You should have figured this out by now.
Yeah,
it's not
seriously.
a podcast. It's a podcast.
Yeah.
Jesus. It's not your fault, Harry Gooseballs. It's not your fault. You found an amazing podcast full of review topics dealing with FF game news and lore. I started with FF7, seeing as it's my favorite game of all time. What I found was an amazing, well put together show where the hosts go through every part of the game, sharing their feelings, thoughts, dislikes, likes, and funny stories, while talking in a down-to-earth way, just like how I talk with my buddies. I don't know how to talk in a non-down-to-earth way.
I don't know. If you were doing like a science podcast, maybe.
You gotta be more sophisticated.
Because now, like, who's the most... I guess, like, the President of the United States, he really sets the tone as far as highbrow conversation goes, right?
So we
king
are
of
highbrow,
politics, right? Now, I think we may use a larger vocabulary than our own president does. So
Perhaps, at least
maybe
publicly.
we need to bring it down a little bit.
Maybe.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
The best podcast. Nothing but the best.
Tremendous.
Tremendous.
Huge.
The way they talk, joke, make sexual innuendos, and use language some may find offensive helps to drive home the way this feel.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, Harry Gooseballs. I'm just reading what you wrote here. I was immediately hooked. Have listened to all the review episodes except 15, which I'm working on. It does take a while.
Yeah.
To be fair. So I gotta wait on that and plenty of side topic discussions. The part I love is not the podcast where the hosts are. The part I love is it's not a podcast where the hosts are end all, be all, just fans of a. Okay, help me here, Schweiss.
All right. A Party Loves is not a podcast where the hosts are the end-all be-all, just fans of a great series of games on a mission to have fun playing those games and be themselves. So I think it's like we're not trying to be all hoity-toity, I
Got it.
guess.
All right.
And we're also not, we're kind of loose. Like it's not a really like strap
Don't
in.
have sticks up your asses.
Yeah, it's really.
I've had some sticks up there.
Well, yeah, but
Had some.
it's different.
Just a few.
It's different.
Yeah. Just wanted to say thank you for all the hours of the show. Love what you do. Keep it up. And can't wait to hear more from Tony. Thank you, Tony. Harry Gooseballs,
Fancy. He gives us his list of games, too. He's got 7, 10, 6, 9, 13, 12. What the fuck? 5, 4, 8, 2, 3, and 1.
Well,
So-
13 is pretty high up there.
Yeah, it's higher than 12.
Than your favorite game in the whole series, Schweiss.
Yeah.
Thank you, Harry Gooseballs and the Seminole Kid, for your reviews of Ultimate Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy podcast.
Ultimate Final Fantasy 14 podcast.
That's right. Hell yeah, dude.
Man,
Oh.
I miss hearing how much they love me on these reviews.
It's because you're not on the show anymore. That's why.
Yeah.
And Critital's the third host now. He's been demoted.
Yeah.
He's on more podcast episodes than you are.
That's not true.
He's-
It might be,
I think
dude.
it is. I think it is true.
Lies.
Well, Craig's getting all jealous now.
Craig is actually crying out of a single eye.
That's not true. I'm not.
Is that your bad eye or the good eye?
I'm not. There's no tears.
Caleb, it's okay to cry.
No more tears.
It's good to be in touch with your feelings.
That is.
Feelings are for sissies.
No, I'm at the.
What
no
were you about to
tears.
say, Schweiss?
There were a few things, but I just resisted.
Okay, all right. Thank you for the iTunes reviews. Just a reminder, please review the show on iTunes. It helps us out a lot. Also, fuck, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something.
Play FF12.
Yeah,
Buy
play
it from
FF12.
Amazon through our link, Amazon.com. It's a great place to buy stuff.
It is a great
If
place
you want
to
to support
buy
the show, you can do that. It doesn't cost you a thing. You can donate to us on PayPal. We have a PayPal link on the website. We have a Patreon as well if you want to do a monthly pledge for us. You can go to youtube.com/Ultima Final Fantasy. Find most of the episodes, as well as some Let's Plays. Hang out with us with 14. Please, if you play Final Fantasy 14 at all, join our free company, Nude Clan. It's a lot of fun. We've got a lot of listeners on there. It's pretty active right now with Stormblood being out. We've got people all across the story spectrum. So even if you're new in 14, I would still recommend joining forces with us if you don't already have a free company. So we've got a Discord channel and all that shit. Just tweet us or whatever. You can tweet me at UFF Podcast.
And tweet me at JoseDuolier.
And all of this and so much more can be found on our website, ultimafinalfantasy.com. Get on there, get on the forums,
Yeah.
ask us questions.
Please ask us questions.
We're
now
out.
We're out of questions. Schweiss, can we do a question from us to you?
We can, yeah. You got something?
Hold on, I'm working on it.
Okay. Also, the phone number. If you guys want to leave us a voicemail, a question, an intro to the show, whatever you want, it's 385-204-3921. That's 385-204-3921. Please use it because we totally pay for it.
Okay, question from us to you this week is a little bit complex, and I know it might scare some of you guys, but we are considering a format change for the show coming up next season, or possibly the season after that. We're not sure. But basically, we're going to go through and we're going to write down every single idea we have for a future episode discussion. That's not news-related discussion.
Right.
In the future, that includes all the game reviews, all the FF7 novels, and all that other shit. We're going to create a master list, and what it'll basically be is that we are considering, we're not 100% sure on this yet, we are considering making UFF maybe every other week, and then having meatier episodes on those every other week, instead of doing the shorter episodes every week, and then we have the reviews.
Right.
Some of you guys may be for this, some of you not, and I'm willing to have you guys share your opinions on whether or not this should happen. But also, if there is a subject on the Final Fantasy games, like a fan theory we haven't touched on or whatever, that you want us to talk about, this is my invite to do that. What have we not covered on UFF that you want us to cover?
Yeah, I mean,
in the future.
The only real fear for me personally is that the length in between games might make it like less interesting as a show, and I don't want to ruin the overall feel of Ultima Final Fantasy because we feel compelled to do episodes every week. It's not that I don't want to do it, but it's more of a to keep the quality as high as we possibly can. I don't want to do like. It just feels dirty doing like nothing episodes almost sometimes, and I don't know if we've really done that thus far.
No, we've done a few. We've had 3 Final Fantasy catch-up episodes.
Yeah, where we had a ton of news, but like it's I don't know. Yeah, just give us what you guys think we should cover, and we'll take it into consideration. But for the integrity of the show, I don't want to be just putting an episode out just for an episode's sake, kind of thing. I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
It almost seems like a disservice to the to us and to you guys as well.
Which,
so
to be fair, I don't think either of us feel like we've gotten to the point where we've ran out of ideas
yeah,
for weekly episodes. I mean, I still have series things that I want to do, and like we still have mythological origins we haven't even touched in forever. I would like to get back to those type of things. But I see the horizon. I'm like, oh, okay, we're halfway through the series, and I'm like, I got ideas for about 14 more episodes.
yeah.
And I might come up with some more. But if there's something that you want us to cover, because we are the ultimate Final Fantasy podcast, that hasn't already been covered at length or whatever, and you want us to cover something at length, that's another important thing, like an actual discussion segment we can talk about for 20 minutes.
Right.
Then please give us your ideas for those things.
Yeah, that would be awesome, guys. We'd love to hear what you want to hear our opinion on.
Yeah. Otherwise, it should only be a couple more weeks for Stormblood, right? Or excuse me, for Dragon Song Wars review.
Yeah, I mean, do you think we're gonna get through all those dungeons that quickly?
I'm pretty far into the story of Dragon Song War. It's taking less time than it did to go through the same amount of content in Heaven's Word.
Yeah, but don't we want to review Dragon Song after we've done the dungeons?
I do think so, yeah.
Do you think we can do it in a few weeks?
I think we could.
Fuck, dude, it's all right. We might be adding some days, but I guess we can try. That is pretty exciting, though. I'm excited to talk about this story. For you guys, I mean, those of you who don't know it, it's probably enjoyable. I don't know, maybe not, but fuck, who knows? But yeah, should be a few more weeks out, and then after that, we're gonna do Stormblood and then Tactics.
Okay.
Excited to finally get to Tactics, and then half of our audience just leaves.
Oh, whoa. Stormblood, and then A King's Tale.
Oh, my bad, yes. A King's Tale.
And then
Season 3.
Season 3 starts with Tactics, and then all the Evil East games.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know, it is crazy. I'm excited to check out some of that Season 3 artwork, too. You guys should be as well. Thank you to Stolas for that, by the way. All right, I don't think I have anything else. You good?
No, I'm good, man.
All right, well, I guess until next week, enjoy the Zodiac grind.
This is the Zodiac speaking.
Yes.
Final Fantasy, the ultimate Final Fantasy podcast. The show is produced by Joseph Nicolier and Kate Schweiss, with music and editing by Joseph Nicolier. Parodies and clips from their respective authors, of course. You can get all of our episodes as well as our Let's Plays at ultimatefinalfantasy.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at @UFFpodcast, as well as our contact page on our website.
Spammer.
Be sure to subscribe and review our podcast to
Troll.
get read on the show, and look forward to the next episode of Ultimate Final Fantasy, the ultimate Final Fantasy podcast.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you for following on Twitch, by the way, Sophie versus Gaming. Really appreciate it. I think that's gonna be it for us now, guys. We're gonna get ready for a new clan. Gonna start rocking that here in probably the next half hour. Hopefully, depends on how long it takes Cameron to get here.
So,
So.
were we supposed to announce that?
Not yet. I mean,
Should we put it in the front of the show or what?
yeah, we probably ought to.
Okay, I can press record when you're ready. I don't know what the hell that is, so it's all you.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you guys though. Yeah. Sure, we ruined Twitch for you. Enjoy.
What?
It's fucking troll.
Why is he still watching?
I don't know. We ruined it, but he's been here for like 20 minutes. So
Why? How have we ruined it? I haven't seen any of the comments.
I don't know. Doesn't matter.